minute hatha flow today. We'll begin on our mats or in a chair in a comfortable seat. You can sit on your knees or cross-legged, whatever feels comfortable for you today. And we'll just start with some breathing awareness. So yoga is focused on one of the many things, part of the practice is focused on connecting that breath with that movement. So if you can get that down, you're on the right path to a great practice. So take a few moments to center yourself in your space. And on your inhale, just draw your awareness in towards your body. Noticing the space around you. And then inhaling a little bit closer in towards yourself, bringing yourself to your mat or your chair. And inhaling into your body, feeling the air against your skin. Drawing that awareness deeper inside of you until you begin to feel the air circulating throughout your lungs. Maybe sensing the heartbeat. Begin to deepen your inhale, so filling all the way up, maybe even finding the belly expanding. And exhaling slowly through the nostrils, following that breath out. Let your inhales and your exhales be deep and slow. And allow those exhales to be a few seconds longer than your inhales if you can. And spend just another moment here, breathing in and out. Exhaling all distractions, to-do lists. Let go of anything you don't need to practice yoga. On an inhale, think open the eyes and reach the arms up overhead. Bring the palms together at the top and exhale, bring the palms down through heart center, exhaling. And then inhale the palms up the same way you brought them down, all the way to the top, looking up at your thumbs. And exhale, release the hands to either side, allowing them to fall next to your legs and your hips. Bring the palms together and inhale up one more time. Exhaling, releasing at the top, spreading the fingertips wide as the arms come down. Flip the palms up, this time inhale, arms up. Palms together at the top, look up. Exhale, palms down through heart center, tuck the chin, allow the thumbs to rest against the sternum in the center of the chest. And then take the deepest inhale you've had all day, filling all the way up, sipping in a little bit more air at the top. Hold it for just a second. Open mouth, exhale, release the palms. And come to seated cat and cow pose. So if you're familiar with yoga, you've probably done this pose or seen it done before. We're gonna take the seated version. So whatever comfortable seat you're in, bring your hands to your knees. And on an inhale, you're gonna drop the shoulders, lift the heart, lift the chin, and press the chest through the shoulders. This is your inhale. On the exhale, we're gonna curl the spine, tuck the chin, holding onto the knees, press the back of the spine towards the back of the room. Curling in, tucking in, that's your exhale. Your inhale brings you back up and open. Spread the collarbones wide, lift up, look up, exhale, curl it in. And you can exaggerate as much as you need. If you haven't moved around much today or feeling stiff, you might want to take a little caution and not go quite as far as maybe you can on normally. Just want to start warming up the spine here. You never want to go past our edge. Listen to your body first before you listen to my cues. And just begin to move with your breath. So as long as it takes you to exhale, spend that time rounded in, curled in, and then ride the inhale up and open. Exhale, curling in. Take a couple more rounds of your seated cat and cow. Pressing the air out through the nose. Inhaling fully into the belly cavity, the lungs. And And come to neutral spine. Sitting up as tall as you can, relaxing the shoulders down the back. And then just lower the right ear to the right shoulder, taking a gentle neck stretch. Then 2 rounds of breath here. Then inhale the head back to center. Exhale, lower the left ear to the left shoulder, stretching the other side. And then inhale the head back straight. Inhale the arms up overhead. And exhale, plant the hands down in front of you, coming to tabletop. Fingertips spread wide, wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Extend the left arm long in front of you and the right leg back behind you. So you might need to take a second to find your balance, hug the belly in, press out through a flat foot, reach out through the fingertips. On an inhale, make yourself as long as you can, and exhale, finding that cat-like back, curl in, elbow to knee underneath you. Tuck in, tuck your chin. Inhale to extend. Exhale, curl it in, and just continue with this breath, body movement connection. We'll take a few more rounds, extending on the exhale, on the inhales, curling in on the inhales. We'll meet in the extension, and then slowly plant the left hand, lower the right knee, and we'll switch sides. Extend the right hand long out in front of you like you're shaking hands. Extend the left leg long, flatten the foot. Take a moment to find your balance. Wrapping the belly up and in, reaching out, pressing out through that back heel. Inhale. Exhale, curl it in, elbow to knee, curl the spine, tuck it in. Inhale to extend. Exhale, curling it in. Press the back towards the sky. And take a few more rounds with your own breath rhythm. Remember, using your inhales to draw your awareness back in towards your body. The exhales, press out all distractions, sensations. We'll meet on the extension, reaching out forward, pressing the heel back. And then lower the left knee and the right hand and take a few rounds of cat and cow here. So dropping the belly, lifting the gaze, pulling the tailbone towards the back of the head. Exhaling, curling the spine, fingertips spread wide, tuck the tailbone. Inhaling to cow. Exhaling to cat. Take one more round at your own pace. And then coming back to center, we're going to extend that left arm again and that right leg. And this time, bending that right knee, tucking that heel in as close to your glutes as you can, and then reach that left arm back and reach for the foot. You might not be able to grab it, and that's okay. Just keep reaching for it as you press your heel down. If you've got your foot, lift up, pull the hand and the foot together like a bow and arrow. Look straight ahead, breathe. One more inhale and exhale. And now we don't have a bow and arrow here, so we're not just going to let it fly. Gently release. Bring that left hand back down and the right knee back to the mat as well. And then we'll take the other side. Right arm extends, left leg reaches back, press out through the heel, and then bending at the knee, tuck that heel in towards your glute, reach that right arm around. Grab the foot if you can. If not, just keep reaching for it. Lifting up like a bow and arrow. Look straight ahead. Breathing into the quad. Final inhale and slow exhale here. Slowly, mindfully release. Bringing the hand and the knee back to the mat. Tuck the toes. And lift up slowly into downward facing dog. So you're going to lift your knees off the mat. Send the hips back and up and press your chest towards your thighs. Keep a deep bend in the knees here so your belly is even touching your thighs. And from there, you can begin to straighten your legs. Most of us will have bent knees here. Spread the fingertips wide and keep lifting up through the tailbone, through the sitting bones. You can begin to pedal out your feet, kind of like a little cha-cha dance move. Bending one knee, lowering the opposite heel down. Again, linking the movement with the breath. And then look look towards the top of the mat between your hands. And tiptoe to make your way to forward fold. So standing forward fold, belly to thighs. Let your head hang heavy, fingertips reaching towards the earth. They don't have to touch. Extend a breath here. On your inhale, roll the spine up halfway. So bringing your hands to either your shins or maybe your thighs. You want a straight back here. So however far up you need to go to create that straight back, that's where you're at today. Roll with it, breathe with it. Lengthen through the spine, one more inhale. Exhale, forward fold again, dropping the head, relaxing the neck. Then into the knees a little bit more on the inhale. Slow motion, roll up to stand. Take your time, curling the spine or uncurling the spine, more like it. Shoulders lower, neck lifts, chin lifts until you're at the top of your mat in your mountain pose. Find a firm stance in the feet, growing roots down, as if you could grow roots down. Slight tuck of the tailbone, palms facing forward. Relax the face, relax the shoulders. And then on an inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, slow motion forward fold, diving forward. Take your time, enjoy it. Notice how the body feels as it moves on its way down. Inhale, halfway lift, finding that tabletop back, long, straight spine. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to plant your hands and step back to plank or top of a push-up. You can also lower your knees here. It's not cheating. Depends on where you're at today, energy level-wise. How many planks you've done in your life, you'll get there, no worries. One more inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower the knees. Lower the chest between your hands. Keep the hips lifted, chin reaches the mat. And then on your inhale, press forward to your belly and find cobra pose. Roll the shoulders up and then down the back. Tops of the feet press into the mat, squeeze the elbows in. 3 breaths here. Lower your gaze to the top of the mat to find some length in the back of the neck. Inner thighs spinning up and in. One final inhale. Exhale, lower the forehead to the mat. Tuck the toes under, press the hands into the mat. Lift up to plank or hands and knees. And then shift back to your downward facing dog. Take a round of breath here. And then look towards the top of the mat. And step or walk to the top, forward fold. On an inhale, halfway lift, press the shoulders away from the ear, straight spine. Exhale, folding back down again to inhale, roll the spine up to stand. Take your time, no rush. Shoulders roll, neck lifts. On an inhale, bring the arms up overhead. And we're gonna take it right back down. Exhale, forward fold. Warming up the body with the sun salutations, a series of poses. Repeat at the start of most yoga classes. Exhale, plant your hands. Step the feet back, high plank or lower to your knees. One more inhale. Now lower to your knees if you're not already there. Lower the chest, all the way to the belly, cobra pose. Shrug the shoulders up and down the back. Pull the heart forward, tops of the feet press into the mat. Look at the top of the mat, lengthening through the back of the neck. 2 more breaths. This is your cobra pose. Squeeze the elbows in. Exhale, lower the forehead to the mat. Preparing to lift up, tuck the toes. Press the hands into the mat, lift up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Looking towards the top of the mat, make your way to forward fold. Torso relaxed over the thighs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand, sweep the arms up as you come up, reaching up. Exhale to mountain, standing tall, the top of the mat. Spine is as straight as you can get it. Find some heaviness in the tailbone, relax in the shoulders. Find a round of breath here, bringing your awareness back to your body on the mat. And when you're ready, we'll begin with the next series called Sun Salutation V, a little more intense, but still a warm up. So on an inhale, Arms rise, sending the hips back like you're sitting back into a chair. This is chair pose. Knees you want to keep somewhat over your heels, so if you need to stand up a little bit out of the posture, go for it. Chair pose, slight tuck of the tailbone, lift the heart. Finding a little bit of cow pose here. Heart opening, arms lifted. One more inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Step the feet back, top of a plank or lower to your knees. One more inhale. And then we'll slowly lower all the way to the mat for another cobra. Inhale, roll the shoulders down, lift the heart. Exhale, lower the forehead. Inhale, press up and back to downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. And find your right foot. Step the right foot to the middle of the mat for warrior 1. Back heel spins down. On your exhale, ground down into the low body. And then inhale, power yourself up. Arms reaching towards the sky. Pull the left hip forward and the right hip back. So you're squaring your hips towards the top of the mat. Our hips are kind of closed here. So both hip points and shoulder points are facing the top of the mat. Right knee is bent. Back leg is strong and somewhat straight. You can widen your stance if you need a little bit more stability. On an inhale, reach it up, lift the heart. Exhale, plant the hands. Step back to plank, lower through knees, chest, chin to cobra, scooping through. Heart open. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift it up and back. Downward facing dog, and we'll step right to warrior 1 on the other side. So left foot steps with the top of the mat, right heel spins down. Inhale to lengthen, and you're still folded over here. Exhale, ground down into the low body. Press the feet into the mat, and then inhale, power yourself up. Pull the left hip back, right hip forward, arms overhead. Find your breath. Find a focus, a point to gaze at. Keep drawing that awareness in towards the center of your body. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, fold over the front leg as you plant your hands. Step back to plank. Lower through knees, chest, chin, or all the way to the belly. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, release. Press it up and back to downward facing dog. 2 breaths. Take a big exhale out through open mouth if you need. It can feel really good. Releasing, cleansing breath. And look towards the top of the mat. Step or hop. Feet between the hands. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins, or your thighs straight back. Look straight down. Exhale, fold. And we'll complete this round with a chair. Knees bent, arms rise. Lift the heart. Firm in the feet, weight in the heels. Slight tuck of the tailbone. 1 more breath in. Exhale to stand, arms at either side. Take a minute, maybe close the eyes or lower the gaze. Check in with how the body is feeling. If you're like me, you've got some sweat starting, you feel warmed up. Begin to connect the breath with the heartbeat. And try to regulate, exhaling out through the mouth. Finding a little bit of peace in this moment. And then as you're ready, stepping your feet about hips width distance apart, bringing your hands to your hips. Roll the shoulders up and then down the back. We're going to take a forward fold. So keep a little bit of bend in the knees, hinging at the hips, begin to fold over the legs. Bring your 2 feet peace fingers, the first 2 fingers on your hand, and clasp them around your big toe. On an inhale, halfway lift, so bend your knees as much as you need to be able to find that tabletop with the back. And then exhale, fold, allowing the chest to lower over the thighs, over the knees. Let your head hang heavy. And from there, you can slowly begin to maybe straighten the legs. Maybe you keep a deep bend in the knees. As long as you can continue breathing, you're in the right spot. Let the head hang heavy. And take a deep cleansing breath. Fill all the way up on an inhale. Open mouth and exhale. Let everything go. Let it dump out the crown of your head. On your next inhale, halfway lift. Still holding onto those toes. Exhale, fold. Release the toes. Bring your hands back to your hips and slowly roll up. From the top of your mat, send the right foot all the way to the back of the mat and spin to face the right side. Extend the arms long, kind of like a 5-pointed star. And then we're going to pivot on our heels to face the right foot at the back of the mat. Bending into that right knee, we'll take side angle lunge. Take your right elbow to your right knee. Left arm comes up overhead, maybe pointing over your ear. Press the feet down into the mat, bending into that right knee. Back leg is straight. Your back toes can be at a little bit of an angle if you need. Spin the heart forward as you press the left hip towards the mat. Breathe, maybe looking up at your elbow or the sky. 2 more breaths here. Relax your jaw, relax your face. And then to prepare to lift up, coming up on an inhale, left arm spins up and back. Straighten both legs, finding that 5-pointed star, and then we're going to take that same posture to the other side. So pivot on your heels to face the left foot at the top of the mat. Left elbow to left knee, right arm comes up overhead. Spin the heart forward, wrap that right leg down. Lift up from the inner left thigh. Reach that right arm up overhead. Breathe. One more inhale and exhale here. And then use your inhale to come back up. Finding that 5-pointed star. And then step to the top of the mat for mountain pose. Take a breath, take a rest. We're going to take that side angle lunge again. This time revolve it. So on an inhale, bring the arms up overhead. Exhale, step that right foot to the back of the mat. Pivot to your 5-pointed star, facing the right side of the mat. And then continue pivoting until you're facing the right toes at the back of the mat. Bring your right hand to your right hip. Lift the left arm up. Bending into that left knee. We're going to twist and cross that left arm over the leg and bring the outside of the left hand to the outside of the right knee. Now you might need to bend deeply into your left knee. You might need to lengthen through the spine. Maybe you don't come all the way up. This can be a pretty intense stretch in that outer right leg, so be gentle with yourself. Finding that twist. Maybe lifting that right arm up. Pull the right hip back. Pull the left hip forward. 2 more breaths. Slow exhale. Press down into the feet to inhale, lift back up, pivoting to that 5-pointed star. And then we're going to pivot to the top of the mat, facing the left side for that revolved side angle lunge on the other side. So pull that left hip back, right hip forward, right arm rises, left hand to your left hip. Exhale, bring the right arm to the outside of the left leg. You can rest your elbow on your knee if you need, or lengthen that arm to the outside edge of that left foot. When you found your posture, maybe coming up a little bit, you want a straight spine here, straight back leg. Then maybe you reach that left arm up. And it might not come up, it might be reaching more towards the back, and that's okay. The more you practice, the more your body will adapt. You'll begin to see the changes in your breath, your flexibility, your strength. But it takes more than a day, more than a couple breaths, so be easy with yourself. Pull that left hip back, right hip forward. 1 more inhale and slow exhale. And then inhale to stand, spinning to face the right side of the mat, finding that 5-pointed star. Look towards the top of the mat and step to mountain. Take a couple breaths, rest here. Invite you even to close your eyes or take a soft gaze. It's a good time for a little sip of water if you need. Finding your breath. Beginning to reconnect your movements with the inhales and the exhales. Let your next exhale. Breathe it out through open mouth. Blink open the eyes. We'll take a wide-legged forward fold. Step your right foot to the back of the mat again, spinning to face the right side. Bring your hands to your hips. Keep a little buoyancy in the knees here. On an inhale, lengthen through the spine, and then exhale, begin to fold forward. So just like our forward fold, the legs are wide here. Bring the hands to the mat. Adjust your feet if you need, maybe bending into the knees. On an inhale, halfway lift, so finding that straight tabletop back. And then exhale, shift the weight to the balls of the feet as you press your hips back. From there, you'll be able to lower your torso between the legs. Let the head hang heavy. And then you might not be able to make it down too far. That's okay. Just do your best and breathe. Finding your exhale, slow through the nose. Pressing the balls of the feet into the mat. Pressing the heels into the mat. And squeezing the legs together. So power up in these poses. On an inhale, halfway lift. Tent the fingertips, come up halfway. Exhale, bring your hands to your hips. Press the feet firmly into the mat to hold yourself up. And then inhale to stand. Finding your 5-pointed star. This time we're going to clasp our hands behind our low back. So it looks like this. On an inhale, look up and draw the fists down the spine, opening the heart. And then on an exhale, take that forward fold again. Remember, a little buoyancy in the knees, press the hips back. Weight is in the balls of the feet, but the whole foot is grounded down, planted firmly. Maybe the arms come up overhead. Breathe into the back of the legs. Cleansing breath out here. 1 or 2 more breaths, slow and steady. On an inhale, halfway lift, using those hands to pull the thumbs, the fingers back away from you, the shoulders pressing away from the ears. Release your grip, bring your hands to your waist, and then inhale, stand all the way up. Step towards the top of the mat, take a breath, take a rest. And then when you're ready, again, stepping the right foot to the back of the mat, we're gonna pivot to face the back and take pyramid pose. So bring your hands to your waist. Your toes of both feet are facing forward. So we're squaring our hips and our shoulders to the top of the mat. You might need to adjust your stance, maybe shorten the stance, lengthen the stance, play around with it until you feel like your hips are on an even plane. And here, the posture eventually you'll get to keeping a straight leg and folding forward over the leg. But if you're like me, you're still working on that. So we're gonna fold over the leg with a straight back, maybe bending into that right knee. So find some length, pull yourself up out of your pelvis, bringing the heart past the knee if you can, and then lower the forehead to look back at your knee or your shin. Pull the elbows up and in so you're broadening through the heart. Feet press into the mat. Keep the head and the neck relaxed. Firm in that back foot. Working on pulling that right leg back, left hip forward. Breathe. Press down through the feet. On your inhale, slowly coming back up. And see if you can just lift the toes and pivot all the way to face the other side, facing the left knee. And then readjust as you need. Pulling that left hip back in the same plane as the right foot. So squaring the hips and the shoulders towards the top of the mat. And when you're ready, bending forward. So inhale, find space between each vertebrae as you fold over that left leg. Maybe bending into that knee. Chest over your thigh, find length on the inhale. Take your time. Take a few breaths to get into the pose. There's no rush. You can always catch up with us. Look down at your knee. Find some length in that spine on the inhale. Exhale, pull the left hip back, right hip pulls forward. It's going to be an intense stretch, so if you went a little too far, just back it up. Feet are firmly on the mat. This is also a balancing posture. Maybe stay for one more breath. Look at your big toe. Press the feet into the mat and then slowly inhale, coming up. Come back to that 5-pointed star. Extend the arms out. Big stretch. Exhale, step to the top of the mat. Take a breath. Take a rest. When you're ready to move on, bring your hands to your waist. Take a little standing posture here, standing balancing posture. So with our hands on our waist, shoulders still relaxed, shift the weight to your left foot and begin to lift that right knee parallel to the mat, lifting it up, grounding down through that left foot, slight tuck of the tailbone. Then you can grab onto that knee, tuck it in. Find some heart opening here. So pull the shoulders back, chest comes forward. Slight tuck of the chin. Release the knee, bring your hands back to your waist, and begin to extend that leg out long. You might have a little bit of bend in your knee, that's okay. Try to keep the hips level here. So you don't want to like jut the right hip up just to get your leg up higher. You might need to lift that left hip a little, drop the right leg. Part of yoga is helping to dissolve that ego, not have to be the best looking at a pose or as far as we went yesterday. It's all about how it feels. So if you could pay attention to how it feels, and I understand, because I'm right there with you, this is not the best feeling pose. But breathe in through the discomfort. And on your inhale, lift a little higher. Exhale, lower that leg. Whew, you did it. Again, standing firm in the feet at the top of the mat. We'll switch to the other side. So shift the weight to the right foot. Begin to lift that left knee up. Square the hips. So if you're jutting that leg way up, just lower it back down. Hips are on the same plane. Slowly extend that left leg out, keeping it even with the right. Point the toes. Maybe even add a pleasant expression on your face. Not required. It helps a little. Press down through that right foot, lifting up through the inner left thigh. So it's wrapping up and in to lift, finding that power. Stay for a couple more breaths. You've got it. We've got it. Remember, it's about how it feels, not how it looks. So stay with your at no matter how low or high your foot is. On the inhale, lift a little bit more to exhale. Back to mountain. Release the hands. And from here, we're going to rinse it out. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Take a big stretch. Exhale, forward fold, bend the knees. Fold over the legs. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step the feet back. Lower through knees, chest to the mat, chin to the mat. Inhale to cobra. So rolling to your belly, arms come back, elbows, or your elbows come back and squeeze together. Long through the neck. Exhale, lower the forehead. Inhale, press up and back to downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. So remember in your downward dog to press your chest towards your thighs, lifting up through the hips. We want to straight back here. And bend your knees as much as you need to get that length in the spine. Looking back towards your knees. Take another couple breaths here. Look at the top of the mat. And make your way to a forward fold at the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to chair, knees bend, arms rise. Slight tuck of the tailbone, wrap the belly and relax the shoulders. Heart opens. Breathe. Breathe again. And on an inhale, we're going to come to diver's pose. So drop the hands as you begin to come up to balance on the toes. So lengthen through the knees, press the hands back. Balancing on the toes, maybe we begin to lengthen forward as if we're on a diving board, looking over the edge towards the water. Find some lift in the hips, lift up through the heels, squeeze the legs together, press the hands back. One more exhale. One more inhale. Exhale to chair, lower the heels, drop the hips, arms rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step right back to downward facing dog this time. Maybe pedaling out the heels, taking a little side stretch, bringing one knee to the side and then the other. And then find your right foot, step the right foot forward, warrior one again. Spin the back heel down, inhale, reach it up. Back leg is straight and long, right knee is bent. Inhale, lift. Exhale, keep the heart lifted, but drop the hands back behind you. Clasp your hands behind your low back. Lower the fists down towards the spine, towards the floor. Lift the heart. Press the inside edges of the feet into the mat. Inhale, lift the heart a little higher. Exhale, humble warrior. Begin to fold between the legs as the arms come up overhead. Stay firm in the back foot. Relax in the neck. Your inhales lengthen the spine, and your exhales allow you to melt into the posture a little bit more. See if you can find a little bit of ease here. Ground down through the feet to inhale, lift back up. Release your hands at the bottom. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, pivot to that 5-pointed star facing the right side of the mat, or the left side, whichever one you're on. And then we're going to spin to warrior one on the other side. So facing the left foot, bending into that left knee. Right leg is long. Arms come up overhead. Remember, our hips and shoulders are squared towards the top of the mat. So pull that right hip forward, left hip back. Lifting up out of the pelvis, grounding down through the feet. Exhale, keep the heart lifted as you lower your hands, clasp the hands behind your low back. This time switch the crossing of the thumbs. It'll feel really weird. That's what we're going for. Inhale, lift the heart as you pull the fists down past your tailbone. Exhale, humble warrior, folding between the legs. Keep the feet powering down into the mat. Keep the neck relaxed. Try to find an easy breath here. A little bend in the elbows. If you tend to lock out your joints, keep these channels open. Press down into the feet, into the mat. Inhale, lift yourself up, release the hands. Reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. And then look towards the top of the mat. Make your way to forward fold. Once again, torso relax over the legs. Head hangs heavy. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. And inhale to stand. You can roll your spine. Take your time. Exhaling at the top. From here, we'll take warrior 2. So step the right foot to the back of the mat. Bending into, we're going to start the left side this time. So the left knee bends, right foot is going to spin to face the edges of the mat, the right edge of the mat. Left heel is in line with that back arch. So sink into that lunge, take a few breaths. It's a kind of little dance here. Exhaling down, inhaling up. And then when you found a good stable spot, press the hips forward, extend the arms long, and gaze over your front left fingertips. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, hug the ribs in. One more inhale. Stay for the exhale. Flip the front palm, reach forward, and then exhale, reverse your warrior, bringing the right hand to your back right leg and left arm up and open, finding some length and space in that left side body. Exhale it out. Inhale back to warrior 2. Straighten that front leg and pivot to warrior 2 to the back of the mat. Now our right heel is going to be in line with the back left arch, bending into that front right knee. Take a few little back and forths with the breath. Easing into the hips. And then when you found your sturdy space, tilt the hips up. So lifting up through the front of the hips, tailbone comes down. Reach the arms out wide, look over your front fingertips. 2 breaths. Deep, full breaths. Bring the ribs in. And then flip the front palm, reach forward, exhale, reverse warrior. Left hand comes down the left leg, right arm reaches up, finding space in that right side body. Breathe. Try to expand through those right ribs. Final inhale. Open up, exhale. Inhale back to your warrior two. Straighten the leg, coming to that 5-pointed star. Look towards the top of the mat. Step back to forward fold or to mountain pose first, and then inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Heel toe the feet about hips width distance apart. And we'll take ragdoll pose here. So knees are bent. Take either elbow with your hands. Fold over your thighs, lift up through the tailbone, head hangs heavy, and we'll just hang out here. You can gently swing the arms left and right. You to let everything hang down. Again, maybe taking a few cleansing breaths out through the mouth. Breathing here. And then release the elbows. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands. Step the feet back, lower to the knees. Widen the knees apart and shift the hips over the heels for child's pose. This is the wide-legged version. You can also keep the knees together if that feels good for you. We'll just be here for a couple breaths. We're not going to get too cozy yet. We've got a few active seated postures. Balancing out the practice here. So lower the hips over the heels. Let everything become heavy. And then on an inhale, roll the spine up to sit until you're sitting back on your heels. Shift the hips to one side. Extend the legs long out in front of you for a forward fold. Taking a quick stop in staff pose here. So the legs are strong. Toes are pointing back towards you. Spin the thighs down and in. You'll feel the legs power up. Relax the hands next to you. Depending on how long your arms are, you might not be able to plant your hands on the mat. But keep the palms straight, flat as if they were touching the mat. Shoulders relaxed, hug the belly in, lift through the lungs, lift through the ribs. One more breath in here. Exhale it out. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. And then hinging at the hips, so we're keeping our back straight. We're gonna take a forward fold. So like me, your arms might not go all the way to your feet here, without curling your back. We don't want to curl the back here. We're going to keep some integrity of the spine. Draw the shoulders back into their sockets. Relax the hands to the shins. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, now you can begin to curl the upper back, keeping the low back somewhat straight. Head hangs heavy. Keep spinning the inner thighs down though. Toes pointing back towards the face. Let the head hang heavy. Full breaths in, feeling the belly press against the thighs as the chest expands to accommodate that fresh inhale. Feel yourself melting a little bit closer towards the earth on your exhales. Again, bringing that breath awareness in. Exhaling all distractions, releasing thoughts that are not part of moving and breathing on your mat today. And just like coming up out of a standing forward fold, we're going to gently roll the spine up to sit. Slow as you can. Take your time. Bring your hands about 3 to 6 inches behind you, squeezing the elbows together towards each other, squeezing the shoulder blades in. Point the toes. From here, we'll take reverse plank. So you've got a couple options here. You can just stay here and breathe, lifting the heart on the inhale and relaxing on the exhale. The next step up is to plant your feet and inhale, lifting up into that reverse tabletop. So that's your second option. The third option is to walk your feet a little bit further apart. You can either keep them down or keep the heels down and the toes pointed. And let the hips into reverse plank. So those are your 3 options. They're the same pose. You'll get the same benefits, so don't push yourself too much. No need to be a hero. We're not here to push the body too far, just move it enough to experience the benefits of each posture and the connection of the breath to movement. So inhale, lifting up from the belly button. Maybe dropping the head back wherever you're at with the head. Be really cautious with your neck. Keep it relaxed. Squeeze the thighs down and inward. Press the feet into the mat. Lifting up through that belly button, using the core muscles. On an exhale, slowly lower the hips towards the mat. Bring the soles of the feet together for bound angle pose. Allow the knees to open to either side. You can bring the heels in a little bit closer if you need. The closer you go in, the more intense the stretch. So find the spot that works for you. Roll the shoulders down the back, sit up tall. Take a deep breath in, look up, and exhale, fold over the feet. Maybe bring your hands to your toes. Maybe walking the elbows in front of the shins. Maybe you stay up here. Again, keep some integrity in the low back. I'm going to keep it somewhat straight here. Eventually making your way a little bit closer towards the feet. Lower the gaze, tuck the chin. Breathe. Begin to slow down the breathing. On an inhale, slowly come back up. Keeping the left leg tucked in, extend the right leg long. Bring the left sole of the foot into the right thigh. Again, sitting up straight, adjusting your posture as you need. Bring the right arm, both arms up overhead. And then exhale the right arm to the right leg, lifting up through that left arm and spin the heart open. So heart is lifting up towards the sky. Left fingertips are reaching up, and then maybe that left arm comes up overhead. Deep side body stretch here. Keep trying to open the heart by pulling that left shoulder back as you slowly curl down towards the right side. We'll be here for another couple breaths. Keep the mind focused and quiet. On an inhale, lifting up. Coming back to center, and we'll switch sides. Extend the left leg long here. Bring the sole of the right foot into the left thigh. Find a stable stance. Bring both arms up. Exhale the left hand down, left leg, reach the right arm up, spin the heart towards the sky as you pull that right shoulder back, and then maybe that right arm comes up overhead. Keep finding some length so we're not dumping into the left side here. Keep some movement of the muscle, engagement of the muscles. Right shoulder back, gaze up, right arm overhead. Breathing slow. Taking your time with the breath. And that will come. If you're still having some shallow breathing, just work with that. On an inhale, coming back up. Bring the soles of the feet together once again. And take a few cat and cow. So kind of like how we started. Inhaling, lifting the chest point through the shoulders, looking up, arching the back. And then exhaling, curling the spine, holding onto your ankles or your shins, pressing the back of the heart towards the back of the room. Your inhale lifts you up and open. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, coming back to neutral spine. Bring the knees together, closing the legs together like a book. And lower onto your back. Knees are still bent here for bridge pose. We're going to walk our heels in towards our hips. Bring the palms flat on the mat. Press the feet down. Relax through the spine. Slight tuck at the chin here. And just like we did for that reverse plank, we're going to engage our core, which is actually way more muscles than just those six-pack that you always think about. There's way more involved with that. So don't worry if that's lacking. You don't fully need that. You've got your legs. You've got your torso. Press the shoulder blades down into the mat, and then inhale, lifting from your belly button, from that whole core area. We're lifting the hips off the mat. Spin those thighs down and in to power up the legs to maybe lift a little higher. Keeping the neck long and relaxed. Lifting the hips, pressing the feet down. If you've got that lift, maybe you clasp your hands together underneath you. Wiggle your shoulder blades together to lift up a little bit higher. Press the forearms into the mat. Again, watching the neck, keep it nice and relaxed, no pinching. Inhaling, lifting a little higher if it works for you. Exhale, release the hands and roll down from the upper back all the way to the lower back. Lower the knees to one side and the other. Big cleansing breath out. And then shift the hips to the left side, lower both knees to the right. We'll take a supine twist. So knees to the right. And then we're going to lower our left arm out over the left side of the mat and let your gaze follow. So you're looking over your left shoulder. Your knees are to the right. If you want to intensify your stretch, you can bring the right knees up a little bit higher. If you want to decrease the sensation of the stretch, you can lower your knees a little bit. So find the right spot for you. And settle in. We'll take 4 or 5 rounds of breath here. Begin to relax the jaw and the shoulder blades. And notice the heart rate slowly beginning to return to its resting rhythm. When you're ready to switch sides, slowly lift the gaze towards the ceiling. Lift the knees. And then walk your hips over to the right side of the mat so you can drop your knees to the left. This time the right arm extends long next to you. Look over your right shoulder and draw the left knees either up or down, finding that sweet spot for your twist. When you found it, begin to relax down. Bring some stillness to the body, maybe even closing the eyes. Allowing gravity to gently coax your body into melting into the earth. Begin tuning into your breath, allowing it to draw your awareness inward, finding that focus and that peace. We can use our exhales to tune out all the things that are trying to distract us, both inward and outward. We find a few more moments of peace. We can take that time for ourselves, even if it's just finding that breath. Sometimes that's all it takes. On an inhale, lift the gaze back up to the ceiling. Lift the knees back to center. And point the toes, lengthen the legs, reach up overhead, take a stretch. Really exaggerate here. Let your chest puff up. Maybe the upper back comes off the earth. Keep reaching, keep pointing. And then exhale, draw the knees in towards your chest. Wrap your forearms around the knees or the shins, tucking the knees in, rolling on the spine, left and right. Maybe back and forth. And then curl up into a little ball. So lift the forehead to your knees, hugging the legs in closer to you, squeezing into a little ball. Squeeze everything. So scrunch your face, make a really ugly face. It's okay, nobody can see you. Hugging everything, squeeze really tight. And then exhale, slowly release. Let everything gently fall to the mat. Finding our final posture, Shavasana. This is corpse pose, and as the name indicates, you just lay here completely still, completely at peace. Arguably the most important posture of our practice. Shavasana allows us to let go of everything we just moved and breathed through. Let go of our expectations, our judgments, and let it be what it was. The time of the body reflecting and reaping the benefits of All the sweat and breath you brought to yourself. So let that just happen as you lay here. Begin to relax your toes, your feet. Relax the legs and soften through the knees. Feel the hips begin melting into the earth as the belly softens, and release the awareness of your breath. Feel the shoulders melting down the sides of your body. The chest relaxing, and the neck relaxing. Allow the arms to become heavy and the fingers to become quiet. Unhinge the jaw gently, allowing the tongue to soften from the roof of your mouth. Allow the corners of your eyes to droop down the side of your face in total relaxation. And feel your head safe and supported on the mat beneath you. Give yourself just a few moments to be. Slowly begin to bring your awareness back to your body on the mat, your presence in your room, in your space. Begin to notice the temperature of the air on your skin. And take some small wiggles to the fingers and the toes. Roll the wrists and the ankles awake. As you're ready, you bring the legs together. Slowly extend the arms overhead for a reawakening stretch. Gently roll to one side, propping your head and your arms, curling in towards yourself, taking just another moment here. And then gently pressing yourself up to a comfortable seat at the top of the mat. Keeping the eyes softly gazing in front of you or closed. Draw the palms together at heart center and tuck the chin. And take a final round of breath together. And take a deep breath in. Keep filling up, sipping in a little bit more air, a little bit more until you're absolutely full of fresh air. Hold it at the top. And then open mouth, exhale. Think open eyes, release the palms. I hope you enjoyed this Hatha class today. I look forward to seeing you next time on the virtual mat. Thank you.